Sallam. And one day, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, he passed by Hanzala. Said, how do you feel, Hanzala? He said, I am a hypocrite. Munafiq. Nafaqa Hanzala. Said, what are you saying? He said, Akhi, we would be in the circle of the Prophet ﷺ telling us about Jannah and Nar, heaven and hell, as if we are seeing it. And our hearts are trembling. Our souls are flying. The moment we go to our homes and sit with our children, we forget that. He said, if you call that hypocrisy, I have the same problem. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu.
Makes two of us.
So let us go to the Prophet ﷺ. And they complained to him. And he told them, where you stay or remain on the same status, that means that status of Iman, the angels would have come and shake hands with you in your beds. ولكن ساعة وساعة. But from time to time, you see, this is happening. That's why the belief of Ahlul Sunnah, Iman goes up and goes down. But some people, this hour and an hour, 1 hour like this, what they meant now 1 hour in haram. No, the Halal Entertainment.
That's why the hadith is ساعة لقلبك, 1 hour for your heart and your entertainment, and ساعة لربك, and 1 hour for your Lord. So the sa'a now is divided into sa'a for your Lord and sa'a for your Satan. This is what the people are actually doing nowadays. So there are lots of halal ways of doing and having entertainment, either alone or with the family. Hadith is sa'a liqalbik, 1 hour for your heart and your entertainment, and sa'a lirabbik, and 1 hour for your Lord. So the sa'a now is divided into sa'a for your Lord and sa'a for your Satan. This is what the people are actually doing nowadays. So there are lots of halal ways of doing and having entertainment, either alone or with the family. But if we would like to explore a bit more.
Well, I think there's still some other examples from the... there's some famous story about the Sahaba tossing a water.
Yeah, exactly. You see the Sahaba, alayhim, they would eat the melon, watermelon, and when they finish the kernel, only the peels or the skins remain. They would start, throwing each other with this, and subhanallah, Abu Hurairah would start just laughing until sometimes he would fall on the floor. And the Prophet ﷺ himself, he was also teaching us that we have to be, humorous and hilarious. Yes. One day a woman came to him, an old lady, and she said, "Oh, Prophet of Allah, pray for me, so I will enter the Jannah." He told her, old woman, they don't enter the Jannah. And the poor lady started,
Weeping.
Weeping. He said, no, because you are going to be
young again.
He didn't say anything wrong, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Also, when he said to the other lady, "Are you the wife of that man who has whiteness in his eye?" She said, "I don't know, Prophet of Allah, to be honest." So she went to her husband, "Let me see. Do you have any whiteness?" He said, "What is wrong with you? Every human being has whiteness in his eyes." So see how the Prophet ﷺ was, entertaining the Sahaba, but within the...
Also, the Prophet ﷺ was once asked by one of his companions for a camel so that he would go in the side of Allah to join the battle defending Islam. So he said, "No, I'll give you a son of a camel." He said, "Prophet of Allah, what would I do with the son of a camel?" He said, what is a son of a camel? He's a camel himself. So something that was born of a camel is definitely a camel. And that's why the companions complained, in a sense, or objected. They said, "Oh, Prophet of Allah, you joke with us. You're a prophet, you're a messenger, yet you joke with us. Isn't this a little bit weird?" He said, "No, I joke with you, but I never say a lie. I never lie. All what I joke with is authentic and it is accepted." Like the time he came to one of his companions and he embraced him from behind and said, "Who will buy this slave?" He didn't lie. He is a slave of Allah. And likewise, this kind of humor and joking is acceptable providing one does not lie, because if you lie, then you are in a dubious area and this might lead to something that is not permissible.
That's true. And actually, when we read the literature, the Islamic literature, there are many books written by the ulama on this particular topics and how the scholars, they were, you know, cracking jokes and all these things. But of course within the framework of the Sharia, alhamdulillah.
So nowadays we have so many kinds of entertainment, maybe have some objectionable elements to them. So what's left? I mean, the classic situation that we face with our children especially is that they want to do this, and we say, can't do that, sorry. How about this? Well, sorry, can't do that. So what kind of things can our children do that are fun but lawful?
I believe that in order to make the circle a little bit narrower, we should identify the things we're not supposed to do. And then,
apart from that,
everything is okay.
Yes, exactly, yes.
Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for example, I believe that anything that involves a sin is not permissible. So listening to music is not permissible. For men, for boys, watching women is not permissible. Wasting the majority of your time, even if this is a permissible thing, but wasting the majority of your time, and which may lead to neglecting a prayer or engaging your thoughts while praying in the thing that you were doing before that, also is not permissible.
Or create hatred sometimes.
Okay, that's
How
good.
do you mean? What do you...
Yes, in games, see, sometimes people, they don't have that spirit of sport, as they call it. Yeah, and we can see it today. People, they end up fighting, killing each other.
Yeah, I mean, this is everywhere now. You see these the spectators at soccer matches, football matches.
Because that is they went to the extreme, you know.
Because soccer is for suckers.
Well, it seems like, I mean, for some people it's a culture where, I mean, the match is sort of a sideshow to the real reason why they're there, which is to drink and fight.
Yes, this is the hooligans and so on. But if I am not wrong, Allah Azza wa Jal justifies making intoxicants and gambling haram, because as it says in the Quran, إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ الشَّيْطَانُ أَن يُوقِعَ بَيْنَكُمُ الْعَدَاوَةَ وَالْبَغْضَاءَ فِي الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ. The main reason for Satan to throw enmity and hatred in your heart is through gambling and intoxicants. So if anything leads to the same effect, it takes the same hukum, same verdict. To an extent, it has to be clear cut. But anywhere you compete, there has to be an amount of, not hatred, but of competition. Otherwise, if I compete with you and I say, no, you go ahead.
No, competition should be there.
You race me, and I'll make you number one. Yeah. Then the soul of the competition is not there anymore.
It should be a healthy competition.
Yes.
The competition should be there, no doubt. But I mean, when we come to this area, for instance, the martial art and all these things, we should try to keep these martial arts fixed or remain within the framework of the Sharia. If there is something that goes against the Sharia, then we say, sorry, this cannot be. For instance, when the Prophet ﷺ, he wrestled, because in Arabia, there was a famous wrestler in Arabia. So he came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, if you put me down, I'll become Muslim. He said, fine, no problem, come. So the Prophet ﷺ just took him like that and put him down. No, give me a second chance. He said, come. Give me the third. Again. Said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. This is the Prophet of Islam, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. See? So we need actually, brothers and sisters, to study Islam. You will enjoy it. It is so beautiful. Whatever you want. We have many things we can give to others as well. So the beauty of this deen, that, for instance, everything, one of the fundamentals of the rulings of the Sharia, al-aslu fil ashya'i al-ibaha. This is one of the principles of the Sharia. The basic and the fundamental rule that everything is permissible. Everything.
Unless.
Of course, unless it is mentioned otherwise in the Quran or in the Sunnah. So for instance, if someone comes to me and say, brother, this fruit is haram. Why? What is the evidence? So no, you produce the evidence. Tell him, no, sorry, akhi.